The information overload. Can you guys hear me?
Sorry.
But yeah. So, how do you guys think we should
Um,
I'm not sure.
write this?
I mean, I was just gonna find the derivative of it and then kind of just plug in.
But then if you look at it, it says like it gives
Yeah,
us the
exactly. I get what
derivative
you're
of
saying.
f and g as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, which question are you on?
34.
34.
34, what'd you guys get?
We don't really know
We're
how to
still
set it
trying to
up.
figure it out.
Chain rule. We talked about chain rule already. Andrea should have a formula for the chain rule.
Yeah.
Back in the first 15 questions, I think we did.
Yeah, but like,
But it doesn't give us like I don't.
how do we set it
Yeah.
up? Like, do you just plug in f of 1 and g of 1?
For the chain rule, when we set it up, it would be f of g of x times g prime of x, right? And then if we do...
Wait,
Or just
Adria, can
doing
you check the
count?
streaming? I think I'm streaming right now.
Okay, I'll check. Oh, yes, you are.
Okay, so you should be able to see calculator, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me move you here because we already see you over there. And it's echoing or no?
No?
It's not echoing? Okay, cool. Can you hear your voice?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I should be able to use calculator now, so which is cool. Um,
What
yes,
was the
that's
answer for 34? Because I got 15.
15 is
Yeah.
correct.
Hey, I was right.
Okay, what did
Wait,
you
how did you
plug
get
in?
that?
Okay, so basically what I did was use chain rule, right? So we have,
Yeah.
let me show my paper so that I can like explain it to you guys better. Okay. Can you guys read? Is it focused? I don't know how to.
Not.
No, it's blurry.
Like, put your hand in front of the camera first. And then, like, wait for it to focus on your hand. Then it should focus on your paper. Or, I think you have a filter. So,
A filter? What? I
I
don't know.
think you
I've
have like
never used Skype.
it blurs your background.
yeah.
Oh, you have a filter on the Skype.
Let me see.
That's a good point.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, So what I did, right, was I wrote everything down, and then I put down like the functions that they gave us, right? So since we have x equals f of g of x, I have to find the derivative of that using chain rule because it gives us like h prime of 1, right? So in order to do that, first we have to find h prime of x, which would give us, oh, I forgot to put the prime. It would be f prime of g of x times g prime of x, right? Because chain rule, so like the inside would be out and it would be the derivative of that, so it would be g prime of x. So then after I have that function written out, I use what they gave us, which is h prime of 1. So using that, I would plug in the 1 wherever the x's are. So I would rewrite it as f prime of g of 1 times g prime of 1, right? So we see that we have g of 1 and we have g prime of 1. We go back to the things that they gave us, right? So g of 1 equals 3, which means that this new function is going to be f prime of 3. And then g prime of 1 is equal to negative 3. So it would be f prime of 3 times negative 3. Then we go
Wait,
back up.
wait, real quick.
Yeah.
How did you get f prime of 3? Where did you get that from again?
So since we have f of g of 1, right? So the f prime is still going to be there on the outside. It's just this is the x that it has.
Oh, okay, I got it.
So yeah. So now we have f prime of 3 times negative 3. And then we go back to the key that they gave us. F prime of 3 is equal to negative 5. So we just do negative 5 times negative 3, which gives us positive 15.
See, is that awesome that you did it?
Yes.
Okay, so if you see on the live stream, I get to show the calculator in Andrea's face and my face, and so now it should be much better than before. So let me just kind of catch up all the things that you guys missed. Well, this one just use substitutions, right? So I'm gonna do u is equal to square root 2x. So that, in a sense, that's gonna give you this one is gonna be u plus 1, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
And if I do du here, so du, then that's actually a quotient rule. Does that make sense? I mean chain rule. So it'll be this one's 2x to the 1/2. So it'll be 1 over 2, right? To the 2x to the negative 1/2 times 2 dx. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is a chain rule again.
Yeah.
So this 2 and 2 cancel out. So that would be 1 over 2x to the 1/2 dx du. Now if you replace that as a u, which is du over 1 over u dx, which is you want to solve for dx, so this will be u du equal to dx, so be u du. Now we have to do square root 2x. We have to plug in the 8. So if I plug in the 8, upper bound is going to be square root of 16, which is 4. Lower bound is going to be square root of 2 times 2 is 4, so it's 2. So the answer will be what do we say the answer was? Answer was D, right?
D.
So the problem is here. Remember, that's why I so emphasize on you guys do use substitutions, because use substitution you had to change your boundary, and that's why I'm keep on asking you guys to do this. I'm not crazy. Sometimes I sound crazy, but in many cases I'm not, because I know where the end is. So it might look like it's crazy. Now we don't need to do this question. So I'm going to show you here, Adriana. So I hear you guys can move on. So here, you guys can see my calculator, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do tangent of x, and I am gonna go to the next line. So math 8 of x of bar function y1 of x. So that means I'm graphing the derivative tangent of x. And I'm not going to do the x squared, so because I'm just going to say it's 2x. Is that okay? Because that's just easier. So if they say parallel tangent, that means they have the same slope. Same slope means their derivative should equal to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to graph the first one. I'm just graph I can unhighlight it. So that's how you unhighlight things. I can just graph the y2 and y3. And then I just click graph. Whoa, this is fast. And I'm gonna zoom in a little bit because I want to see between 0, because what Adriana says, what Ariana says she can. Oops, it's probably bad. Zoom standard. So if I ever have a question, I can always zoom standard back. And I don't know if they intersect here, but I know they intersect for sure here, right? So I'm gonna do second calc and intersect, and I'm gonna do it to to first curve. I'm gonna use the red curve. I press enter and use a black curve. I'm gonna use here, and hopefully they find the answer 2.083. That's how I did it. Ariana, do you see which part of mistake you did?
Yeah, I just needed to zoom in a little more, and once I zoomed in, I was able to get like the exact
Yeah,
point.
but do you understand this question is not difficult? But you have to be the one that is a mastermind of everything, because calculator only can do stupid things. You had to be the one that says, okay, I judge the calculator to do the certain things, um, and that's what it was. Okay, so hopefully that's better. Okay, so does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we talk about, we can go into talk about 31. Now 31 is a little bit harder question, so we can look at 31. So let me look at 31. Um, so if I would annotate, right, I'll annotate parallel tangent. This is going to be a slope. This is going to be a sim. So that means slope must equal to each other. Equal to each other. Right? Those are the things I will do that. So if we f of x will be tangent of x, and f prime of x is, I can do secant square of x. G of x is equal to x squared, and g prime of x equal to 2x. So what happened is I'm just set this equal to each other and find out intersections. And this is how the way I approach things. Hopefully you approach it the same way. But the keyword is the most important thing. Now, what is a keyword on 31? I'm going to help you with this one because the math of this one is a little bit harder.
Is it average rate of change?
Average rate of change. Can you look it up? What is average rate of change?
Yeah.
Um, f of b minus f of a over b minus a.
Awesome, awesome. You guys are awesome. Right? And they say f prime of t is equal to average rate of change. Does that mean I have to take a derivative also, right? So this is just a derivative. So derivative is equal to this. So do you guys know what is derivative of 1 over t?
Oh, We could do like trot rule or quotient
You can do
rule,
quotient
which is
rule, but
easy
remember
to-
the top part is constant. So can I do this?
Oh, you said something about this.
Like
Hold
the
on, it's
most.
like loading on your screen. It's like a few seconds like lagging. So it's just like not. Yeah, I just gotta wait for the screen to load.
Yeah, it's like 8-second delay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the like you bring
Yeah, I
up
bring up
the
the t, so it'll be 1t to the
right?
negative 1. So I'll take a derivative from 1t to the negative 1 just strictly using power rule.
So be negative t to the negative squared.
That's weird. No.
It is weird.
It's a negative 1
Mm-hmm.
to the what? T to the negative 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that what you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I thought you said it's a negative t to the square. So
Negative one.
okay,
t.
so that's good,
Yeah.
right? But then we had to do the f of b minus f of a over b minus a. So it'll be 1 over b, right? Minus 1 over a over b minus a. What'd you say?
Hold
8
on.
seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, you changed it.
Ariana, you want me to show you my rabbit?
Ooh, okay.
I don't know. Where is he? He's pooping everywhere, man.
Oh yeah, they poop everywhere. At least it's little balls, so it's like easy to pick up, and it's not like dog poop that like
And they don't
smears everywhere.
stink. Their pee stinks, but their poop is.
Oh yeah, I haven't smelled the pee from my rabbit yet. He pees in like whenever he needs to pee, he just goes straight to his cage and goes into like the litter box.
Oh, really? That's awesome. He pee like my rabbit's like pees everywhere.
Oui.
I thought they would just go into like the litter box thing, like cats.
I wish they'd do that. I mean, he does, but he doesn't like to pee on the same spot, so he had to pee.
We just
Like he
change
get
it a
dirty and he
lot.
doesn't want to be in the same spot. So if a
Yeah.
litter box is dirty, then he doesn't want to pee over there. He's gonna find a new spot to pee, or is it not? Okay, so now, do you guys see this part here? The 1 over b minus 1 over a over b minus a equal to negative 1 over t squared?
Yeah.
What we're gonna do
Yes.
is we're gonna solve for t, right? Because they say find t, right? What value of t is. So I'm gonna show you how to do this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do cross multiply. This is the SAT skill. So it'll be t squared. Actually, let me see what's the best way to do this. Hold on. Let me do, before I do cross multiply, maybe there's a better way to do this. I'm gonna multiply this top part and bottom part by b times a over b times a. That's how do you get rid of the complex fraction. And if that's the case, on the top part, b would cancel out and left with the a minus b. On the bottom part, it's going to be b times a over b minus a equal to negative 1 over t squared. I'm going to wait 8 seconds for you guys to see what happened. And you can ask questions. Adriana, can you see it?
I think Adriana's trying to restart her Skype, she said, but she's watching the stream. It took
So
her
now
out.
what happened is A minus B and B minus A can cancel out, and that's going to give you a -1. So it will be -t squared, and now I can do cross multiply, -b times A. Now they both becomes positive, so it'll be t squared equal to b times A, and t equal to square root v times A. But now this is the most important part, because on the calculus you just have to be able to set up. Algebra I cannot train you, you're just going to go by experience. Do you guys see what I did?
Yeah, it's like loading slowly.
Why is there a -1 in front of in the numerator? Oh, from the...
If you move the things around to be
yeah.
able to cancel it out.
Can you ask Adriana whether on the live stream is echoing or not?
Okay. Oh, she said it's echoing.
It's
Like for
echoing.
me, I don't hear any echoing.
Hmm.
Oh, she said sometimes, only sometimes.
Okay, let me see. Okay, do you guys understand?
Yeah.
Filter.
Oh, okay. She said, I think Ariana echoes, but me and you, Mr. Yi, do not echo.
Okay. Then I'm gonna
That's kind of weird.
try this. So Ariana, just shut off your thing for now, and let me see if I can fix it. Oh, I think I know why. Is she's echoing. You have dedicated output. Yes. So I'm gonna. So our Andrea's not okay. Okay, so next question. And remember, this function like this, you have to follow the way they tell you. It's a positive, that means above x-axis. If it's increasing, that means function is going up. Concave upwards. So I will do like this. It's increasing, positive, concave upwards. Ariana, is that good?
Yeah, I get it. I'm just waiting for the screen to.
Okay.
Yeah. But so far, I get what you're saying.
So right endpoint is going to be like this. So right endpoint is the biggest one. It's, I would say, number 1. This is the left endpoint, which is probably going to be the smallest one. So we're going to say left is equal to 4, smallest one. Okay, 1 is the biggest one. And I'm going to do trapezoid. So trapezoid is a little bit bigger than actual value because actual value is right here, right? So trapezoid is bigger than actual, but it's in between. So it's probably going to be R. L. And trapezoid is bigger than actual. The answer is A. Oops. Moving the calculator here. Does that make sense?
Where did you get the 1 and the 4 from?
1 and 4, I just number them. 1 is the biggest one, 4 is the smallest one.
Okay. Got it.
Now 33, we just talked about this. So they say R of t represents the rate of waters leaking out. So rate, that's something like saying it's a velocity. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if I have integration of velocity, so let's say if I see, instead of see how fast I'm running, I'm see how fast the water's running. If I see how fast the water running, if I integrate how fast the water's running, I'm gonna get the how much water's being thrown through or how much I'm running, right? So that's integration of v of t. So that I would say integration of this r of t, which is v of t, between 0 to 3 is going to represent how much it runs between 0 to 3 hours. And this is a big concept that student cannot make a connection. But when you're talking about rate, just think about that rate is the same thing as a velocity. And that's the way I kind of think about it. So the answer is C. And Ariana, we go over this one. So they just want a h prime, and this is giving. So h prime of x equal to f prime of g of x times g prime of x. That's how you do a chain rule. And then that's equal to f prime g of 1, g prime of 1. And g of 1 they are giving. So this is one of those internal equations. So g of 1 is equal to 3. And g prime of 1 is negative 3. And f of prime of 3 is negative 5 times negative 3 is equal to 15. Good job, Ariana, on that one. Okay, 35. Okay, so now do you guys know what's mean value theorems?
We did that before. That's where like f is continuous on the closed interval of a and b, then f can be like derived on a and b, which is like with the tangent line, and then f that uses like the formula of f of b minus f of a over b minus a, and that would be like the f prime of c, right?
So that's good. That's good. So let's look at this question. So if it's differentiable increasing between 0 to b, do you see that bound? 0 to b. So I circle that. C is a number guaranteed by mean value theorem. Which one must be true? So let's write out mean value theorem. And I'm going to explain mean value theorem again. Just hopefully you guys understand in terms graphically. So remember they say 0 to b. So 0 is acting my a, right? So that means f of b minus f of 0. Does that make sense? Over b is f prime of c.
It's just over b.
Yeah, because a is 0.
0, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, which statement is true? F double prime of c, it definitely doesn't guarantee that, because that did not talk about double prime could be less than 0, so definitely not a, because that's not something that what mean value theorem talk about. Usually talk about f prime. But the function is increasing though. That's another keyword. That's actually very, very important. So anytime you talk about decreasing, increasing, concave up, concave down, they are important. They are like a very, very crucial thing for you to know. So they say f prime of c is equal to fb over b. That's not true, because it's f of b minus f of 0 over b. We don't know what f of 0 is. We didn't know the output is. So they cannot say it's equal to f of b over b, because they're assuming f of 0 is 0. But it's not true, because f of 0 don't have to be 0. So a little bit, it's like kind of like if you want to become a lawyer, if you find a little bit fault of that, you can you can say, because the DNA sample is not right, so therefore this person is not guilty. That's pretty much it. So B is automatically crossed out. And B is the most suspicious one of all of them. But C, they say f prime of C equal to 0. F prime of C is equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, that means, so the mean value theorem just basically say this, between A and B, and if I have some type of function like this, and if I have something like this, right? This is the slope. This is the f of b minus f a over b minus a. This is f prime of c, right? But if a function is increasing, then f prime of c is not going to be 0, because if this function is increasing, f prime of c, it should be positive. So this should be positive. So therefore, it's not C. So you have to understand the reason why not each one. That's how you beat the AP exam. You have to understand, okay, what I mean, can I prove, can I disapprove? Then let's go down to D. D is probably the best one because the function is increasing, so f prime c has to be positive. So this one I cannot find anything wrong with it. And f prime of x change the sign at x equal to c. Not necessary. They don't have to change the sign. We can go straight equation like this. It doesn't have to change the sign. It's always positive. So E is now right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you have to go into disprove all of them. And the most suspicious one is actually B, though. B was the second popular choice. Besides D is the right answer, B is the most suspectable cases. Because they can say f prime c is equal to 0, that's automatic. F double prime c has nothing to talk about. A and C is easily excluded. E did not have to change sign. So the only thing that has to be true is D all the time. So which one must be true is like a detective. You have to disprove all the possibilities. It left the only one possibility. That's the one that you want to be.